this evening's recap, we have a special treat of 5 ghastly short tales, each guaranteed to make you scream or at least squirm in your seat. Buckle up, dear viewers, because we are about to step into a world where horror meets hilarity, and the only thing predictable is that nothing will go as planned. Enjoy. Our first tale, A Little Family Gathering to Die For. The story opens on a gloomy Sunday evening inside a lavish old mansion where an eccentric upper-class family has assembled for their annual Father's Day dinner. The atmosphere is thick with smoke, sarcasm, and simmering resentment. Candles flicker across crystal glasses, casting long, wobbly shadows on the faces of the heirs Sylvia, Cass, Richard, and their spoiled guest Hank. They gossip and exchange barbed remarks while keeping a watchful eye on one another, each hiding their private ambitions and petty jealousies.
Do you really think she'll be out, Aunt Sylvia?
You can set your watch by her. 6 o'clock on the dot. You married a great hog.
Cass hasn't told you about Dottie, old great-aunt.
Isn't she the one that was supposed to have
murdered her father?
They are waiting for Bedelia, the black sheep of the family, who has a penchant for making dramatic entrances. She is the one who made Father's Day infamous. The family rumor mill spins a darkly delicious story about her. She supposedly lost her beloved husband in a hunting accident, and, convinced that her father had orchestrated the death, she took matters into her own hands and smashed his face in. A classic family dinner gone wrong scenario, if you will.
But her father, Nathan Grantham, was even older and meaner than that.
Get your hands off my money!
Then when he was about 184, he had a stroke.
She bashed her father's head in with a marble ashtray.
She met a fella. Yes, sir, a real September courtship. So rumor has it.
Have very good reasons for being pleased at old Nathan's death.
Bedelia returns every Father's Day to the scene of her grisly act, carrying with her the kind of calm confidence only someone who has taken a life can possess. She pours out a drink for dear old Dad, raising the glass as if toasting the memory of his impatience and his ultimate folly. With each measured sip, she allows herself a private thrill, a flash of satisfaction at the power she once wielded with cold precision. The air seems to shimmer with her presence, as though the mansion itself remembers the violence that stained its walls.
It's Father's Day! I'm your father! You're supposed to be taking care of me!
Happy Father's Day! Happy Father's Day. You got me so mad. Drove me crazy. I want my cake, Bedelia!
In a flashback, the rumors turn out to be partially true. Bedelia's murderous rage was not only about her husband's death, it was also incited by her father's impatience. He simply could not wait for his traditional Father's Day cake, a detail that seems trivial until you remember the Grantham family's obsession with tradition. Bedelia did him in, and she finds a strange, twisted sense of catharsis graveside. Only later does she realize that perhaps she should have let him at least eat the cake first to tie off any unfinished business. Back inside the mansion, Cass and Hank take to the dance floor, peacocking and exuding a reckless, raw energy that only the wealthy and bored can afford. They are too impatient to wait for Bedelia to arrive, so Hank decides to venture outside, eager to show off and, if possible, coax Bedelia into the house. He wanders among the misty headstones and tangled thistlewood, eventually finding a bottle of graveyard whiskey. But his attempt to stay safe fails spectacularly, and in a darkly comic twist, he still gets to witness some otherworldly sights before meeting his untimely end. From the earth, Nathan Grantham, the very father Sylvia and her relatives had thought long dead, emerged with a terrifying calm. His eyes gleamed with the cold satisfaction of a man denied his final indulgence for too long. The family's schemes, their greed, and their quiet complicity had summoned more than just memories. They had awakened a wrath that would not be denied. Sylvia, caught in the maze of hallways and fog, barely had time to register the horror before her fate was sealed. Nathan's hands, once familiar and paternal, now operated with deadly precision. In a swift, horrifying act, he decapitated her, a cruel and grotesque homage to the cake he had been denied in life.
Mrs. Danvers? Mrs. Danvers? Mrs. Danvers?
The night drags on. Cass and Richard continue their idle waiting for dinner, frustrated and increasingly restless. Finally, after pleading for help in locating Hank, they are met with some rather sudden and gruesome surprises.
Got my cake. Others.
Well, that is one way to make sure Dad gets his cake, but do not blow out those candles just yet. The night is only getting colder. We then swoop into our next story, where old Jordy Verrill witnesses a meteor crash nearby. At first glance, the space rock is beautiful, glowing with an almost hypnotic light. Jordy immediately dreams of fame and fortune. He is determined to take the rock to the local science lab, imagining the headlines, the accolades, and perhaps even a television appearance.
I wonder how much they'd pay for it up to college. $200. Not a cent less than 200. Pay off that bank loan. Got to cool some bitch off.
He douses the meteor with water, but his inexperience proves fatal. He cracks it open too quickly. The goo inside is strange, vibrant, and dangerous. Jordy, impatient and short-sighted, discards the precious fluid and takes only the outer shell. That night, he settles into his usual routine of watching pictures, drinking, and absent-mindedly sucking on his fingers, unaware that the meteor's alien essence has begun to spread over his skin.
His fingers have got to come off. Free Willy pains for Mr. Verrill.
Oh, Jordy Verrill, you lunkhead. Always in, always bad.
As the goo propagates, Jordy's situation worsens. Doctors, curious and eager for experimentation, are no help. He sits helplessly as the alien life form begins to transform him. The unrelenting overgrowth is forcing Jordy to drink lots of fluids, and in the back of his mind, a very bad idea is urging him to get relief from the incessant itch by soaking in water.
Don't you think for one single minute that it was easiest about it? But we kept right on going and we didn't complain.
Oh, no.
In a final, ill-fated move, Jordy takes a bath, ignoring the ghostly warnings of his deceased father. The warm water provides fleeting relief, but by morning, he has been transformed into something unrecognizable as human, an overgrown flora monstrosity, doomed to remain so forever. In a grim comic twist, Jordy attempts to prune his own weeds with a shotgun, a final gesture highlighting just how thoroughly the meteor has claimed him.
The current 30-day forecast released by the U.S. Meteorological Station at Portland, Castle County is going to turn green so fast in the next month that it's going to be almost miraculous.
Guess he went green with envy, permanently. And speaking of watery graves, you might want to hold your breath for this next one. In the next segment, we meet Harry Wentworth, waking from a lazy seaside nap to find himself staring up at Richard Vickers, a wealthy man with a calm, unsettling smile. Richard is no casual acquaintance. He is the husband of the woman Harry has been having an affair with.
Don't call me mister. You know damn well who I am.
Come on, get out of here.
You listen to me, Harry, and listen, your little mind can barely conceive of it.
All right. Becky and I were going to sit down and tell you pretty soon anyway.
Richard, catching a familiar glint of recognition in Harry's eyes, quickly asserts control. He produces a recording revealing Becky trapped in a nightmarish situation of marital torment. With all the cards in his hands, Richard explains that Harry must obey if he ever wants to see Becky alive again. They take a trip to the dunes of Comfort Point, where Richard drives them to a remote trailhead.
Maybe on some subjects that I'm not entirely saying. This is Comfort Point. I call my beach house Comfort Station. Well, I won't hold it against you. Farrah's waiting for her knight in shining corduroy.
Once there, Richard reveals his creation, a mound of sand and a shovel, seemingly innocent, but in reality, a trap designed to bury Harry beneath packed sand. Harry struggles to find leverage, the shifting grains keeping him trapped, a horrifyingly meticulous form of psychological torment. Richard, ever the sport of cruel games, toys with him before bringing out audiovisual equipment to show Becky's struggle in real time.
You're not going to bury me alive.
Not a bad idea.
Help! Help! Help!
Help! Here, let me get that. Found a friend, Harry. Here, Harry. Take your mind off of it. Becky! Can't hear you.
The tide rises, slowly encroaching on Becky, forcing Harry to watch helplessly as she fights for survival. Richard's cruelty is punctuated by casual remarks and jokes, demonstrating just how much he enjoys the chaos. Harry tries desperately to escape, but the tide leaves him powerless. Back at Comfort Station, Richard sips his drink, observing the unfolding misery with gleeful detachment.
You hear me, Richard? You hear me, Richard? I'm gonna get you!
Current pulled him out. That's what happened, all right.
That night, drink in hand, Richard basks in the glory of his well-laid-out plan's success. Unbeknownst to him, though, something evil lurks in the ocean mists that creeps closer. Strange slapping noises echo outside the doors. Richard arms himself, ready to confront any possible escape attempts, only to find that bullets are useless against his adversaries. Richard is forced to face the same fate he cruelly bestowed upon Harry and Becky. Now, Richard must test the limits of his own endurance.
Go to the beach. You can hold your breath. Hold your breath. If you can hold your breath. I can hold my breath.
Now I'll never look at high tide the same again, and while you're still gasping for air, we're not sticking around for that, because we have to catch up with Mike, who discovers an intriguing crate tucked beneath the stairs. Alongside him is henpecked Henry and his boisterous, socially clumsy wife, Wilma. Wilma barges through social interactions like a hurricane, repeating faux pas with unapologetic enthusiasm. The tension strains Henry's relationships at his academic institution, particularly with department head Dexter Stanley.
Oh, just call me Billy. Everyone does. Buying or renting? Oh, actually, we're renting at the moment. It's just as well. Just take care of Henry. Believe me, he needs it. What's the matter with you two? You're not drinking?
Well, actually, we just got here.
Henry, you stay here till I get back.
Excuse us.
I gather you'll be unavailable for chess tonight.
Would one of you be Professor Stanley?
Yeah, I am.
There's a telephone call for you.
1834? Really?
Yeah. And then something about an Arctic expedition.
Academics. Make the shark in Jaws look...
Not a thing, Wilma.
Oh, a shot.
Bullseye. That's what I figured. You are such a little kid. I swear to God you are.
Stanley arrives to supervise the handling of the 1834 crate, which exudes a foul stench, immediately setting the stage for horror. As they wrestle it onto the table and begin removing the nails securing the lid, Mike spies what he thinks is something shiny inside. In a classic moment of greed, he reaches for it, only for his arm to be captured and bitten by what appears to be a monstrous animal. Blood splatters and screams echo as chaos unfolds. Stanley, frantic, runs for help and bumps into Charlie. Thinking Stanley has lost his mind, he humors him by taking a look under the stairs.
You think that I killed him? Look at the blood. Look. He's gone. After all these years, but he got out. They pushed the crate off the table. Pushed the crate back in under the stairs. Hey, Charlie. I really think we...
He grabs a flashlight and a pipe wrench to confront the creature, but the musky stench and unexpected strength of the monster lead to gruesome consequences, leaving Charlie ripped to shreds and Stanley reeling.
What happened?
Oh, that's a terrible consideration to have at a time like this, Benny.
Last time I saw someone do that was in the movies. What two people? Who is dead?
I guess he got his chance.
Henry checks on his friend Stanley, only to find him a blubbering, hysterical mess. His mind turning, Henry uses the chaos to his advantage, hatching a plan to get rid of Wilma once and for all.
Let's get you another drink, Dex.
No.
He laces Stanley drink to knock him out. He then writes a letter to Wilma and leaves it for her to find when she gets home.
How many times have I told you to lock the goddamn door? Henry!
I've had to leave in a hurry because of a call from Dexter Stanley. But ever since Dexter's wife died, he's been able to cover up several incidents, but this one looks very serious. He got a young woman to accompany him to Amberson Hall under false pretenses and then attacked her. When Dex called me, he was barely coherent. He was gibbering with fear, telling me what had happened to the girl, but for the most part, he only kept repeating, "It's awful, Henry." Wilma, could you come out here? I'm sorry to have to ask you to come over to Amberson Hall and help me out.
What indeed, Henry? What indeed?
Deedling a twisted situation with Stanley and a girl, and Wilma just has to come and help the girl. Henry's manipulation is complete as Wilma eagerly goes to the laboratory to see firsthand the folly behind this domestic run-in.
Henry! Henry, where are you?
The laboratory, Wilma.
What are you doing creeping around down there? What kind of a mess has he gotten himself into? How bad is she? Is she conscious? Your best friend gets in a scrape with a girl and you're laughing?
Oh, this is going to be an entirely new experience. The girl is under the stairs, Billy.
Henry tells Wilma that the woman needs her help under the stairs, as she crawled under there to get away from Stanley. At first, things didn't seem it would work out in Henry's favor.
Wake up, wherever you are! Wake up! Wake up! Dinner time! Wait!
Oh, that was great, Henry. Same old Henry. Afraid of your own shadow. Sheep's eyes, chicken guts, piggy friends. No good at making money. No good at making an impression on anybody. When was the last time you were a man in our bed?
Then, just as planned, the monstrous animal burst from its crate to claim its last victim, just as Henry envisioned. Bye-bye, Wilma. Henry Henry ties up all loose ends and ends the night by dumping the crate into the quarry.
I drove out there with the remains of 3 human beings. I began to wonder, where did they go? I mean, how much could it eat?
The next morning, finally rid of Wilma, Henry reveals the details of what went down to Stanley, ensuring Stanley he got rid of the monster and any signs of foul play for good, or did he?
What if I waked up before you got here and called the police?
If you saw the way I chained it up, you wouldn't worry. Relax.
Well, that was one way to handle a bad marriage. But before you go looking under stairs for mysterious boxes, this last story will really get under your skin. Finally, we meet Upson, an obscenely rich man obsessed with cleanliness and personal hygiene. He loathes germs and bugs, treating them as personal enemies.
There's not gonna be any more damn bugs. Heads are gonna roll. I promise you that.
The day begins with a call from his chief executive, George, who can barely discuss stock fluctuations without Upson launching into complaints about pests.
Well, I told them I wanted to hear from him within the hour. Within the hour. 26 minutes to go, or he can stay on vacation permanently. What are you doing in the office at 9:30, George?
Well, yes, sir, I know that. It's about the Pacific Aerodyne, Mr. Pratt.
Air pollution counts up to almost 7, George. Oh, I found another cockroach this evening, George.
Pratt International now owns a majority of Pacific Aerodyne stock.
The news of old man Kastenmeier's suicide seems almost a relief. One less board member to manage.
Sir, Norman Gastenmeyer shot himself an hour ago.
Now we won't have to offer the old fart a seat on the board of directors. Never run good news into the ground. The very core of the building itself.
But that evening, the widow Kastenmeier calls, cursing Upson and blaming him for the death of her husband.
You murdered this afternoon.
Mrs. Katzenmeyer, how are you?
His eyes were so dead. How many men have you killed, you monster?
Only the stupid ones.
I hope you die. I hope you get cancer in the worst place.
Upson, unperturbed, brushes Mrs. Kastenmeier off, but notices an increase in roaches in his apartment. Upson contacts the building manager demanding a exterminator be sent to his unit right away to deal with his infestation.
Mr. Pratt, sir, I don't think you is crazy, not at all. I might be able to get Pirelli Brothers out here by...
Yes, 11:30 would be fine.
Call them just as soon as I finish with that shower on 23.
As the power falters and a blackout spreads through the building, Upson is trapped by his own obsession, powerless against the relentless invasion of bugs.
We got problems tonight, fella. Everybody's got bugs tonight, and I don't have time for bullshit.
This was everything! This is gonna stop!
I want to be here to the bugs.
Retreating to his hermetically sealed panic room, he discovers that even there, the pests persist. By the time the lights return, it is clear that Upson's paranoia has consumed him entirely. The bugs, the horror, and the panic were all in his mind, and perhaps in a dark way, that is the scariest part of all.
You there, Mr. Pratt? Mr. Pratt! What's the matter, Mr. Pratt?
And there you have it, Creeps and Crawlers, 5 tales of terror straight from the pages of your favorite fright-filled magazine. From murderous cake obsessions to alien goo, from sand trap tortures to cursed crates, and finally to a man undone by his own obsessive cleanliness. Remember, when you toss out your trash tonight, make sure nothing crawls back in. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.